Hey gang, it's Bob Bannister coming at you with another edition of Rock Talk right here with CGCM Rock Radio and the Red, White, and Maple Rock Project. So this time around on Rock Talk. Oh, before we get going, I've got to remind you, I almost forgot. Click that like, that share, that subscribe button. Keep up to date on all things Rock Talk, all things CGCM Rock Radio, and all things Red, White, and Maple Rock Project. Also, drop us a comment. Maybe there's somebody you'd like us to talk to as well. We'll try our best to do just that. On this edition of Rock Talk, we are headed east to Halifax to spotlight a band that's been grinding hard and rising fast. I'm talking about A Call for Submission. They're gearing up to hit the stage at FogFest, bringing their heavy edge, raw intensity, and that unmistakable East Coast fire. Before they unleash it live, we're sitting down to talk origins of the band, influences, and the road that's led them straight into one of the region's biggest rock weekends. So what do you say we dive on in to Rock Talk on this edition right here on CGCM Rock Radio with the Red, White, and Maple Rock Project. All right, Rockaholics, and here we go. As promised, it's another edition of Rock Talk coming your way with CGCM Rock Radio and the Red, White, and Maple Rock Project. Joining us this time around, we're heading out to Halifax. We're visiting with Mike. We're visiting with Emmanuel from the band, A Call for Submission. Welcome into Rock Talk, gentlemen.
Great to be here.
Yes, thank you for having us. Much appreciated.
So you guys are playing the main stage next Saturday, August the 15th at FogFest 2026. That is very cool.
Very exciting.
Yes, we're super stoked for it. Lots of great bands, lots of bands we know, like Sunstroke Caravan, for example. We're sharing the stage with a lot of great artists from Nova Scotia, so we're pretty proud to be a part of it.
And this is the second or third edition of this festival of FogFest?
Second, I think. I believe this is the second.
This is the second year. Last year, in its inaugural year, I played a part as a volunteer as an MC at the show and was inspired to get my band on that stage this year. So here we are. But yeah, it's its second year. They had 1,800 people show up to the festival grounds last year for their first year. So a big first inaugural opening for sure.
That is very cool. So guys, give us the story of A Call for Submission.
Manuel's the guy he's the guy with the origins.
Well, Mike and I call us the OGs. Mike is from the years from the earlier years for sure with me. But previous to Mike, there were some other members in the band. We started in about 2009-ish.
Mm-hmm.
And at that time, we were just playing covers and jamming in a garage and playing lots of house parties. And that quickly grew into some original inspiration along the way. Sometimes it would happen by accident, but there were a lot of perfect accidents in the mix. And we ended up putting out one album before Mike joined us. Sorry, two albums before Mike joined us. But by the time Mike had joined us, he had known all our songs already and just kind of jumped in the mix. As most musicians know, you go through the ropes with people, mm-hmm. and you find out who's in, who's all in, who isn't. So as we lean towards more of the original side, we saw who wanted to stick around and who didn't. So hence the member changes. And then we finally feel like we have a good core group of guys that, all these years later, that has the same direction in mind. It's not to say anyone from the past didn't, but time goes on, life goes on, things happen, people grow, people move. In 2013, we had entered one of our original songs from our first album, Walking Savior, into a national song contest. and we won for Canada. And they flew us out to Quebec City to open up for Pennywise and NoFX on this great big stage. 15,000 people. We really, at that time, we were just in awe. It was the true rock star experience. Here's some small town boys in the middle of Quebec City. They put us up in a hotel for 4 nights and, giving us a show at a private club. Another experience at another venue where we could meet and greet with other bands and sell merch and kind of get to know each other. And then, of course, the main stage, which was, a dream come true. So I'm not going to say we've been chasing that stage ever since, but we've definitely been looking to get on a stage of that caliber again. So it was nice to get Mike on board, who shared those same.
I would have loved to have been part of that one. I just missed that one.
But I mean, having missed that and having known all our songs, we were so grateful to bring him on board. And I mean, I'll let Mike tell you about his experience as to how he came to us and where he was at that point. It's a pretty cool story as well. But yeah, through the jigs and the reels, as they say, out in this part, we again went through a few members, but ended up still doing some great things along the way, making some awesome connections, and staying alive in the music scene. About 5 years ago, we kind of walked away from the band. Surviving in a struggling Canadian music scene is very, very hard. And it can be very cliquey at times. So we were feeling, I don't want to say discouraged, but we were just feeling like it was time for a change. So we tried a new project called Drop Scene, which was great, but we never ever took it to the stage. It wasn't until last year at FogFest that I was inspired to bring A Call for Submission back. And it was really, really cool because Mike and I have always had this connection. When I got home from FogFest, I said, Mike, I've got a crazy idea. You're probably going to think I'm nuts. And he said, you want to bring the band back, don't you? He knew exactly what I was thinking. And next thing you know, we've got a year solid booked of shows. We're making connections with great bands like Kendall and the gang from Sunstroke Caravan, just a phenomenal Canadian rock band that we love. I guess we kind of look up. I say to Kendall, we look up to you guys. He says, well, we look up to you. So it's a beautiful connection we have there. But we have been very, very welcomed back into the scene. When you feel like people have forgotten what you did, they didn't. And here we are, and we're being inspired by others and lifted up by others. And it's a beautiful thing. We're seeing a huge shift in the music scene right now. So, and not because of us, but we're just proud to be a part of bringing it back when we thought, it was dead in the water, really.
And Mike, is he nuts?
Always. But that's the beauty of it, right?
Absolutely. So what do you bring to A Call for Submission? I see a studio in the background there. That kind of
that's part of it.
Geek out a little bit.
That is part of it. Yeah, we've gone through the years of going to studios, spending the money as everybody does. You go through that process. But I spent a lot of years outside of A Call for Submission, learning the craft, learning the technical side of it, learning the mixing, all of that stuff. So I've really put a lot of time and effort into it. So nowadays, when we go to record, like our last album we did when I joined, we did it ourselves. We did everything ourselves. We did get a little bit of outside help on the mixing and mastering at the time, but now I've invested in having the whole studio shebang here at home. So and it helps too that we have musicians in the band that understand their own sound. So they understand how they want to like it. Like our guitar player wants his guitar to sound a certain way, our bass player wants his bass to sound a certain way, and they understand that. And when everything comes into one pile, it's just a matter of putting it together, mixing it together, which I do straight from here. So yeah, and I joined A Call for Submission 2015. Near the end of 2015. And the end of 2014 into 2015. and I was just coming out of a alternative rock band, I guess, based out of Toronto.
Mhm.
A band called Dear Love. I was coming out as the bass player of that band, and I'd moved back. I'm originally from Nova Scotia. I moved out there for that band, and then I moved back a short 11 months later. Came back. I've known these guys from the Call for Submission since they started, since 2009. That's when we originally met. So I remember like some of the first shows they were playing were also some of the first shows I was playing in an old band called Splinter at the time. And we crossed paths, I think, 3 or 4 times, like quite a few times before eventually when I came back, Emmanuel and their lead guitar player at the time kind of scouted me out. And when they knew I was coming back, they kind of sent me the bug. So I remember us meeting up at a Tim Hortons and just chatting over a few things and what we were going to do, and that was it.
How
Instantly, I was hooked. And
How Canadian is that? Meeting up at
right,
the Tim's, you know?
meeting at the Tim's, right? Met up at Tim's, got some coffee, and started chatting music. So yeah, we hit it off almost immediately, and then I've been part of the band ever since. So yeah, since I want to say 2014 till now, I've been part of this band for 12 years.
Very cool. And the fact that you guys are you self-contained, I guess you could say, is that what you see the state of the music business being in 2026, being so DIY, like
Yeah,
not independent?
it very much is, and you can see too that even not even just for your own recording standpoint or anything like that, even like your distributing standpoint too.
Hmm.
Like a lot of these big name artists you see nowadays are pulling away from these labels and they're moving on to just all independent,
Yep.
right? And when you have the ability to have full control of all your stuff, at the end of the day, it's not about the money making thing, but why not take in 100% of that if it's your material, right?
Absolutely.
Rather than 70% of it going to somebody else.
Yep.
So yeah, so there's a huge shift, not just in local scenes, but there's a huge shift in music industry everywhere,
Yeah.
especially in our genre of music.
Now, how would you guys describe your sound, Emmanuel? How would you describe the sound of A Call for Submission?
I'd say that we're a very melodic hard rock band. We've managed to create lyrics that a crowd can chant back to us. And when we were writing the songs, we really wanted to make sure that they were inclusive to the crowd and that they connected to the crowd. So, when I'm writing lyrics, when some metal bands that are still great, but when they're writing about, fire and mountains and the dragons, and we're writing about real stuff, like real experiences. So, we feel that we're strong in making that connection with the crowd. Like when A Call for Submission's on stage, it. There's a different pull when we play for sure, and it's those infectious tunes and those catchy riffs, melodic hooks that have really, I think, caught everybody's attention over the years. Most recently we played a show. We played that very song that won us the competition in 2013, and found out how relevant it still was today. We had people we did not know and never seen us before show up to this venue, and they're singing it back to us. By the end of it, they're singing the hooks back to us, and they're asking for,
It's a very
you
cool
know,
feeling when you have a crowd singing your stuff back. It is very cool.
yeah, yeah. And we're still riding that wave. It was like, wow, did that just happen? Like it felt so good to play the show, and we hadn't played this particular venue. This would be Monty's Show Bar in Dartmouth, one of the most,
The most technologically
prominent.
sound of anybody in this side of the country, I'd say.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. They've invested so much into making that live sound really big, and when you go in and you get the best of the best running all that, they make you feel right at home. It's such a cool experience for any band coming through the area. That's the place to stop. They make you feel so at home. They make you sound good, which ultimately makes you play better too, and it puts on for a much better show.
So, what would you guys say the state of the Canadian music industry is in these days?
I think it's boom. I think it's feels like it's growing. It feels like it's I would rival a lot of artists I'm seeing now would rival what you used to see come out of the US.
Hmm.
Very much so.
Yeah.
There's a lot of really cool stuff coming out of Canadian artists nowadays.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. But is it still kind of splintered where everything is kind of regional? Nothing's really being pulled into to getting some national exposure like it should be, or
Ooh,
are we on
I'm
the brink of that?
yes, I'm glad you mentioned that.
Yeah.
Like, I think there is still a struggle there. There is still this clique of people. Like, for example, us winning that. Just going back to that, us winning that
Hmm.
song competition, but not being able to get accolades in our own province from Music Nova Scotia and the ECMAs was super. It was heartbreaking at the time. We were, very much involved in paying our dues and doing the things, but we came to find out that we weren't really being true to ourselves by begging our way in the door to places. If they're not going to see what we have or like what we have, maybe we're not for these platforms. So, and I mentioned earlier, we're definitely feeling a different shift in the scene now where people have learned those same lessons and where we know now that we've got to show up for each other. And that's the biggest thing as a Canadian artist. We can talk about Jim and Bob's and Joe's gigs all day long, but if we're not showing up and supporting them and they're not coming out and supporting us, we're not going to get outside of our demographic and spread our music, beyond Canada.
Hmm. Very, very cool. So, out of all your catalog, though, for you, Emmanuel, we're going to start this one with you again. What is your favorite song out of your catalog to play live?
Ooh,
Oh,
that's a toughie.
it is a toughie. I just being the lyricist and the writer of the songs, they mean so much to me. I've been known to shed some tears on stage in a beautiful moment when it feels really good, and and I have no shame about that at all. It's this band has been my everything for a long, long time. I'm gonna say that Walking Savior for sure. It's got to be Walking Savior. Through Hell We Rise, another song which we'll send to you, Bob. It's a newer one. Um, that one is definitely another one that hits me in the feels. But Walking Savior has stood the test of time, and it's a song that people ask for when we go play there. Are you going to play Walking Savior? Are you going to play that Savior song? So it's obviously been one of the songs that people have been able to connect to in their own way.
Hmm.
So that means a lot to me and means a lot to the band.
Mike, same question.
Yeah. You know what? I have to agree. Um, Walking Savior is the song that, put Coffee Mission on the map, but it's also like I remember long before I joined the band when that first album, Rise or Fall, came out. Walking Savior, it hit me too. It hit me right in the feels. And I remember learning to play that song. My old band, Invictive, actually was one of the opening bands for Call for Submission's release of that album.
Okay.
And I remember not long after that show going home and learning how to play Walking Savior. So, and not just learning how to play Walking Savior, but trying to learn how to play the solo from Walking Savior and all of that stuff. Flash forward, I joined the band and become the guitar player, and then had to know it anyways, which I walk in already knowing it. But I remember too that Walking Savior that was that one song that always resonated with me, and not only just to listen to or feel, but to play live too. As a guitar player, it was always my favorite one to play live. Now being the drummer of the band, um, still by far when we played it at that Monty show, it was like, and we got to play it twice, which was kind of cool.
Oh, that's cool.
And just to play that song live, I remember when we first rehearsed that song, and Emmanuel started breaking down in tears after playing it because we've come to terms that this band was long since done and we weren't going to hear some of these tunes ever again. But Walking Savior is just one of those ones that just it's such a concrete part of this band, and to the point that when I joined the band and we started writing new material and I started bringing new material to the band. I kind of brought the writing back to that era, and I remember I wrote a song called "Surrender and Submit," and "Surrender and Submit" to me was supposed to be the answer to Walking Savior. It was basically Walking Savior number two. They have a very similar feel, very similar sound, and that was the whole premise of that song. But it was like, and we carry even that one we carried true to this day, which is very cool. But Walking Savior by far was that's definitely the favorite song to go to.
So speaking of playing live, have you guys had well, we'll call it a Spinal Tap moment, shall we say? Where things just go right off the rails, but somehow or another you manage to keep it together.
We've had those.
Yes, we've definitely had a few of those for sure. And even that show in particular, I think we were doing an Alice in Chains cover and Man in the Box. And
Good song.
we had rehearsed the crap out of it and for some reason I just couldn't hit it. But the crowd kicked in and helped. And it was discouraging because we're like, oh yeah, we're back. We're headlining tonight. And I'm feeling that embarrassment, but obviously it's when I realized that no one else really cared or really looked down on it. It felt pretty good it was a good recovery after that to come back. And, when you're doing covers, you definitely want to pay homage to those people too.
Absolutely.
You want to play them right. So it was just a moment, and we get off stage and the other bands are like, oh, that was so good, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, yeah, I know I messed up Man in the Box. And they're just like, huh? But they don't, so it's one of those things where I think we're harder on ourselves sometimes as artists. When we're up there, we'll hear things and we'll be off key or a note will start wrong or lyric is wrong. Even in an original song, if I'll have a brain fart moment and spit out a lyric or sing the same verse twice by accident. The key is just keep on going, really. But yeah, we've definitely had those moments where you feel discouraged for a minute, but it passes quick. It passes pretty quick. Luckily, we have the right core group now, and showing that support for each other, especially the two most recent guys that joined our band. Amazing musicians, and I don't want to call them basement musicians by any means, but they just hadn't been in the limelight. They haven't had that chance in the spotlight,
Right.
which was really a sad thing because the amount of skill they carry, they're cousins, first of all, so they have that, ultimate connection, but just having them on board and getting them on stage and saying, you guys are awesome and people need to hear you too. So in moments where they've felt like, oh man, I messed that part up, I'm there and I'm just like, yeah, it's okay, man. I'm right beside them, cheering them on and come on, give me that lick. And, I think that we pick up on each other's vibes that way and we're able to be there and support each other through those moments. So they definitely come, that's for sure. And that's a great question too. So thank you for that. But yeah, they come but they go for sure.
All right, let's continue to have some fun here. Step away a little bit from the music here. Well, one
Yeah.
more music question, because I like to do this thing called this or that at the end of the interview. Just have a little bit of fun. So we're going to start it off. Zeppelin or Floyd?
I'm on the fence there. On the
Emmanuel?
fence there. Zeppelin or Floyd? I have to lean towards Floyd. Sorry.
Fair enough. Emmanuel?
I'm going to say Zeppelin for sure.
Hockey or baseball?
Oh, baseball for me. Very un-Canadian to me, but baseball.
I'm also going to say baseball.
Small club or big festival stage, FogFest?
Ooh, small clubs can be pretty intimate and beautiful. So I'm going to say small club because it's harder to draw people to a small club than it is to a festival. So when you fill a small club, it feels really damn good.
I'm going to say small club to watch show big festival to play a show.
There you go. Great answer. Beach or mountains?
Ooh, mountains.
I'm going to say beach for sure.
Road trip or flight?
Ooh, road trip.
Oh, really? Oh, now I'll fly anywhere.
Fries or onion rings?
Oh, onion rings.
Ooh, yeah, onion rings. I got to second that.
And then finally, pineapple on pizza, yes or no?
Ooh, I'm all over it. I'm a Hawaiian fan.
There you
And
go.
that usually means you get the whole pizza to yourself. So
That's
it's not
right.
It's not my go-to, but I don't care.
Well, we'll give props to our friends on the left coast. All right, Mike and Emmanuel from Call for Submission. Hey, just before we run away here, tag a band that you think should be on Rock Talk, and we'll try and get them on there.
Absolutely. Yeah. I do know that Sunstroke Caravan is already on there.
Absolutely.
Again, actually, there are a lot of who paved the way to me finding you. Kendall's like, you got to hit up this guy. So thank you for that. Thank you for that connection. And thank you for what you're doing for them. It's ripple affected to us. So I am going to say Last to Leave. And they're from Barrington Passage. And they are a young band, but they are coming in loud and tight as hell.
I would agree. Yeah.
Very cool. One more thing, take a moment to shamelessly self-promote, guys.
Ooh, let's go. All right. So, so FogFest obviously is coming up this coming weekend. We're playing the main stage at 5:30 on Saturday, which also means we get to enjoy all the other bands after us, Sunstroke Caravan being one of them. But also we're fully booked from now until November, and we're going to take the winter off to write. We're bringing out an extra special cover at FogFest that we've kind of done our way. And it's kind of probably a little left field for a call for submission to do, but we've done it our own way, and we're going to play that at FogFest.
A little spoilers. It's up on the screen behind me right now that I've been kind of working on. So just saying that.
Zoom in if no. All right, Emmanuel. All right, Mike from A Call for Submission. Thank you very much for joining us on this edition of Rock Talk. And guys, don't forget, click that like, that share, that subscribe, support A Call for Submission, support FogFest, support CGCM Rock Radio, and we'll catch you again on another edition of Rock Talk.
Thank you very much.
Thanks,
man.
Bob.